All right, everyone. We're back a few minutes earlier than expected. It looks like our next two teams actually got ready pretty quickly. So, welcome. My name is Avinus. I am the tournament host of the HLL Summer Invitational 2021. I am also casting today, and I'm joined in the booth by Jem, team captain of 82nd Airborne, third place finisher of last year's International Cup 2020, and off to a pretty good start in this year's tournament with a win in the round of 16 last week. So welcome, Jem, again for your third casted game of the day.
Hey, hey.
So we are about to watch gameplay on Artillery Battery on St. Mary Eglise between Lost Legion, LL, they are the 9th seeded team, and HLY, the 20th seeded team, Helly's Heroes. And they've just moved game start to 1:10, so we actually have a few minutes. That's fine. Gives us a little bit of time to talk, kind of cap what we've seen, recap everything we've seen so far, which is exciting.
Sorry,
And I'm going to quickly just
I
join
think it's
server.
one over.
Just going to mute all of the squad leaders quickly, so
Oh,
that way we
shit.
don't pick up all of that comms. So, Artillery Battery is a point that we have not yet seen in this year's tournament.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because this was one of the most popular points played in the last year.
Yeah, and I think the reason why it's so popular is because of the relative balance of it is just really solid. The point is, as you can see, I mean, it's pretty much dead center, a little offset to the south side of the map, but I mean, otherwise, it is about as balanced of a circle as you'll find in this game mode, and as balanced as one you'll find in HLL period. There's a lot of angles and opportunities from both teams. On the north side, the Allied team has a lot of ways to get around Artillery Battery using the roads. On the south side, the German team has quite a nice hedge line here, with a couple of little bits of cover that allow them to get to this trench position in H4. There's just a lot of ways around on this map. There are open fields, but there's enough micro terrain in and around the strong point that I think it makes it really quite entertaining.
I think what most memorable thing about Artillery Battery last year was its hedgerows. That there was so much hedgerows you can actually climb and camp in. So I'm pretty interested if any of the teams actually has studied any of the hedgerows right now. I do feel like some of the hedgerows actually have changed since last year because the St. Mary Eglise was updated with the new bushes, essentially. But I think there's still potential maybe to use some really good vantage points and cover.
Yeah, I think this is one of those maps that offers both teams an opportunity to make plays at the final second. Like, unless you are fully boxed out to the edges, which I think for both teams is pretty catastrophic on this map, as long as you're holding on to something, there's not really great sight lines north-south on this map, except for like the very backside on the very eastern part of the map. I mean, outside of that, you really have to have people in a lot of positions simultaneously to have solid coverage. So I think, a team that is paying attention can really take advantage. And, something that we haven't seen thus far in today's matches is a team like really exploiting a hole that they like do well to create, and then just can't quite go far enough to like really kind of seal the deal in a way. And so can a team do that today? Is that something that, as we move forward into the tournament, right now we're in the losers round one, I would expect tomorrow in our quarterfinal matches, we will find some teams where one mistake is made, and we will be able to come back to that mistake and be like, this is the reason why this team lost. But so far today, I've seen so many mistakes from all the teams involved, and I think it's because...
And teams not capitalizing on that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's come down, and it's been both teams. It really hasn't been in either direction. I don't think today I've seen one team that has really dominated their opponent. That just hasn't happened today. And I think, there's a little bit of inexperience. I do think this match will be maybe a bit more than what we've seen, but it's a new format for a lot of the teams we've shown today. For at least 3 of them, Barbed Wire Collectors Club, and then the opponents in the last game, 143rd and Dib. So they're all kind of learning it. They're all figuring it out. They don't quite have the experience that some of the teams from last year have, and you will find a good majority of last year's competitors are sitting in the winners bracket currently, which I think lines up and makes sense.
What I want to mention, though, before we start this match, actually, is to speak a little bit about LL, Lost Legion. So a lot of players actually on the roster that you can actually see right now are also have played last year as part of one ID team. And since then, they have continued to play 18's format, also in November, October, and also throughout this year sometimes. I'm not entirely sure how much, but they have played this format within the team. So I would expect that they have slight advantage maybe on knowing the better spots on the maps and how to abuse them,
I
and
would
maybe
agree.
better rotations overall.
LL definitely walks into this match with an experience advantage. Hands down, you know, Tom and a couple of their players that participated in last year's tournament under the 1AD flag certainly have a good idea as to what they're doing. They have practiced a lot in this game mode. So I would agree with you. I think that we give advantage LL. They are up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. I just want to quickly introduce Watson from 1CDO, a team that just won their losers round 1 match against Barbed Wire Collectors Club. We had match 1 on about an hour and a half ago, is joining us in the booth. So welcome, Watson. Thanks for joining in.
Hello there. How's it going?
Good. I love having 2 Europeans in the booth with me. It makes me feel like I'm a bit cultured and a bit, you know, I have friends from other continents. It feels good. So we're actually just about to get started. Let me, Watson, real quick. I'll stream for you. Or actually, Jem, if you wouldn't mind streaming for him, that would actually be better if you can. So that way it doesn't get mucked up with the stream. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're about to get started. So it looks like we have LL is going to be playing as Allies, and HLY is going to be playing as Axis. So LL will be in blue, HLY will be in orange. So you'll see LL come in from the right-hand side of your screen at the start, and HLY from the left. And as I said, LL did win match 1 of this best of 3. So if LL wins here, they will walk out of this round with a win, and they will advance to tomorrow's loser round 2. If HLY pulls out a win here, we will go to a winner-take-all 3rd game, which is really, really exciting. And as I say that, we are off, and we see.
And what I already want to actually highlight is that most part of the team on HLY side has spawned on the south side of artillery battery, southern garrison, and pushing from there, which is very interesting because mostly what I remember from the last year is that most teams tried to control the north side, and the south side was basically just for flanks.
Yeah, that is interesting. Maybe they're going to go the road. Maybe they might be thinking up the road. We'll see. I'm seeing a lot of them move in the direction of the road. You're seeing a couple of players from HLY are going to that very north side of the map, northwest side, I should say. And I'm seeing a much more distributed approach from LL, pretty much evenly across the entirety of the strong point. Rockets flying out on both sides.
HLY actually have planted an MG on their spawn next to the glider on the wall just to suppress things. But I don't feel. I feel like that's a big mistake. Actually, just give up that.
Then he's doing something special.
So now we're seeing the massive run-in from both teams here to the big manor in the center of the strong point. And I think LL has, you know, they have the ability to collapse into the manor, whereas like all HLY can do is kind of just like spearhead through the line. So I think like in this initial engagement, LL in a slightly better position, but that can change quickly. There's definitely a numeric advantage for HLY coming into the strong point here.
Let's see how they spread their outpost on HLY side. I would not be a fan of having 2 outposts just behind the hedgerows on the west side of the strong point. I'd probably want one squad leader to move up a little bit more north on the north side of the road, just to have more map control in that sense.
I think the key thing with this cap zone is the 3-story house, isn't it? If you can pile the bodies into it, you can cover so much of the area.
And it looks like, I'm going to go zoom in on the house quickly. It looks like so far advantage HLY in the house. We do have Tomsky inside, not to be confused with Tom, I don't believe, from LL, so 2 different Toms. But yeah, so far, Tomsky goes down. HLY looks to have control of the manor, which is probably the most critical part of this entire map, I would say. And so far, I would say slight advantage HLY on the strong point. They look pretty good. And HLY is the attacking team, right? So LL's got to be careful here. They will have to completely reset OPs if HLY gets the cap. I'm going to zoom out here quickly, give you a better sense back to where we were. Yeah, I mean, right now, HLY in a very commanding position on Strong Point. Pretty much half their team is there. I think a little bit better map control from LL on the north side, but I think HLY is going to flip the point here pretty comfortably.
Okay, one of the squad leaders on LL side is already ready to replace the outposts. But it seems that they lost just 2 outposts, and they'll have to restart from the garrisons. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, confirm. Baker got his OP up on the south side of H4, and that is it. All other squad leads, so the other 2 went down. So HLY in a very commanding position on the onset of this match. Like, I didn't really expect that. That really went well for them.
Let's see what they're gonna do right now, because technically, if they want to perform a proper box out, they need to start pushing up on the north side roads and push them as close as possible to enemy garrison right now. As you can see, there's a really big gap right now there, and that needs to be utilized. And I don't feel like they're trying to do it; they're just standing in stationary positions. And also, I think a big key here will be to actually start shifting one squad more to the south. To deny the hedgerows on the south side of the cap, where the LL is currently pushing up.
Yeah, I mean, that I don't think that's how LL drew that up. I don't think that was the plan at all. So very convincing start from HLY, and you're right. Like, can they take advantage? We're seeing some additional gunfights happening. An entire LL squad now running in from the northwestern side of the strong point, and you are seeing. I'm going to go zoom in on this. You have 2 AT players from HLY, Skirbe, and I can't even say that name. A Welsh Giraffe are now pushing up to the line, and we'll see. Can they do anything against this full LL squad? One goes down, Skirbe gets 1, but he goes down. So LL cleans up the 2 AT players that were kind of pushing out. I'm going to go take a look at this from the opposite side now. And you can just see, I mean, look at the concentration of HLY on the strong point. I mean, half the team there. LL really fighting from the outside in, having to cross some fields. I think the key for LL now is going to be to utilize the very top side of the map, utilize the hedgerows and cover there, and to try and flank around past the house and past the shacks down into the strong point. And I do see LL starting to do that.
What are they underutilizing on LL's side is that the southern flank, and instead of actually trying to sneak past and push between the wheat fields on the southwest side of the strong point, they're just sitting in the bushes in the hedgerows and just holding, trying to shoot people down. Like, there must be somebody at least trying to flank, and I think Tom specifically was really great at that in 1AD last year.
I think Tom's certainly a player to watch out for on that basis.
And we are seeing.
He's not playing. He's refereeing this game.
And we are seeing 6 players from LL that have pushed up as a group. One goes down right to the edge of the circle here. So that's a really good push from LL. That was really well done. But HLY kind of just fortifying around the house. This is, I mean, props to HLY on the initial capture. That was, I don't know if they had a plan and that's how they drew it up, but that was perfect. One of the best initial caps I think we have seen in the tournament thus far.
I think what we currently see, though, is crucial is that LL actually is starting to push up and they're outshooting the opponents. They just need to get somebody closer to the 3-story building right now.
And right now, just Armageddon stands alone inside of that building. Kadros, the medic, coming over. And that there was a big push there from LL right up the road towards the center, and they all went down. And now they're having to start back because their squad leader wasn't with them. But I'm just going to pivot over a little bit, and we're just going to take a look. And you can see LL starting to work both flanks here, both north and south. We're starting to see LL players work the trench lines, work the hedge lines. Interesting strategy from HLY. Look how far back. They have an MG basically sitting all the way in the back. And we're going to zoom in on this guy for a second. So TTRS from HLY quite literally just suppressing the southern push by LL towards the point. And he's just kind of blanket suppressing the hedges. There's no target. It's just a blanket suppression there. So I think it'll be curious to see, does HLY try to move those MGs up, or will they keep them in the back?
I like what I'm seeing right now from Ben because like they're still playing too passive on LL side, on the south side of the map. That MG that is trying to suppress that southern side is not effective. One guy can just snipe it down right now. And Ben just needs to keep moving. He needs to keep moving.
We'll check back in on Ben in a minute or two. We'll see if he makes his crawl. LL starting to get pretty good control of this, kind of northern side of the strong point. We are seeing HLY push back. You got Armageddon still sitting in that house. Armageddon has pretty much not left the house since the start of the match, so good on him. Utilizing his position. Curious to know how he's doing on ammo. Got to be getting a little low, I would think. But, HLY holding on for now, but certainly better map control. And you are seeing a gunfight happen on the very north side, and LL wins that gunfight pretty strongly. Vexed and ZYZ, supported by Just Guy and the MG. They're looking for this final HLY player, which is a Welsh Giraffe, and he goes down. So I think LL has just secured that northern flank.
Somebody needs to shut down that MG. Ben is in position, but I would not love to actually him being the guy who kills the MG, because then they will know that he's there.
Yeah, and I do think it's a part of this game mode that, and a part of HLL in general that is underappreciated, is not always taking the shot yourself. Like having some fire discipline, passing the marker over to your teammate, and being like, hey, now he does go down. I don't know who got him. I wasn't sure if that was Ben. I wasn't looking at him at that moment.
It was Ben.
It was Ben. So he's now around the backside. And I think...
They don't have an outpost there. They have outposts on the road just west of the artillery battery.
I think HLY in trouble now. I think LL in prime position to recapture this strong point. Although, I have to point this out. Look at this really northern group from HLY. Do you see this very top of the map?
Yeah. They started pushing there, but really late. And now they're leaving a really big gap on the strong point.
This is like... like when your army gets encircled and you're like holding out. It's what I'm looking at right here. They're just so far away.
Sighted from Lost Legion actually destroyed one of the outposts, and the squad leader Day Charles from HLY tried to replace it. Actually, no, it's dogged. Okay. Oh no, HLY just lost both outposts.
Yeah, I think HLY now in big trouble. Rithik is alive up on this north side, and like maybe he's just like, you know what, we're gonna let LL cap and I can just start from ground zero, because look, they just cleared out. These 4 guys from HLY just cleared out all of the people from LL pushing them. Rithik is still up. He can reset the OP when they cap. So I mean, that's not a bad position to be in to maybe try to recapture artillery battery. It's interesting. I've never really seen that before, but it's workable. I think they could do something with it.
I missed it, but I think Ben actually was the one who took the second outpost down. Sighted was the first one.
So, and now we're seeing this front line. If I go back to my initial stream position when we started, kind of looking at this, south to north, bottom to top. I mean, look at the spread. I mean, this is just so interesting. Like, you have a bunch of HLY players, 5 of them, at the very northern side of the map, so far away from the strong point, kind of getting closed in on 2 sides from LL, and there's no one really from HLY left on the strong point. You've got 1 rifleman, but LL is about to complete the cap, and yeah, I mean, HLY just kind of all over the place. They had really great positioning to start, and did a nice job, but like 12 minutes in, LL gets the recap, and LL, I think now definitely in the driver's seat of this match.
What do you guys think actually happened that turned this around so much?
I think LL completely got control of the flanks, and like it's funny saying that because you see these HLY players on the north side, but it's like the 2 teams went right past each other, I guess, on the north side and didn't see one another. Like I guess they just went right past each other, but for Lost Legion it was more effective because they were able to utilize that position and cut off that northern approach for HLY. So I think it came down to LL got control of the flanks, HLY was too concentrated in the center.
I think a key thing to focus on here is when HLY got the cap and wiped 2 of the outposts, they really didn't capitalise on the map.
Yeah, they were, both teams actually are pretty slow in that sense to capitalize on things. Both LL, like on the south side, not trying to push out. They now realize that they need to do it, and they're trying to do it, but I think it's still very defensive what they are doing right now if you look at the map. They just neutralized the threat on the north side, which is great.
Let's say I think you might see a change in play here. Now the northern threat is destroyed. You might see a sector lock starting to fire up.
Yeah, and Mad Cow is kind of the forward element for this LL team. I think he's mostly looking for intel, I think, more than anything. He doesn't see these HLY players directly above him. Be curious to see. And we do have a squad leader from LL that is pushed up. This is Darken Knight. Did he move his outpost up? No, Darken Knight. He does go down, but he didn't move his OP. I was wondering if they were going to go, if they were feeling confident and that OP gets pushed up. Really interesting mechanics from HLY at the beginning of the game, going for the center push, they get it, and then they've just kind of been slowly choked out of the point. And now you are starting to see, if I zoom back out here, you are starting to see the foundation of a box out starting to form for LL towards the edges of the western side of the map. And
Okay, and the squad. Yeah, and the squad that actually got wiped on the north side, they're trying to push up now on the north side again, which I was actually thinking, trying to see what are they going to do as a squad. Are they going to push up north, or are they going to link up with the rest of the team on the red road?
Yeah,
I mean, feel like pushing red road is not the play to get back into the point. What I really like to see right now, and I see some guys from HLY trying to do, is to push on the south side hedges, because LL for some reason is not defending it, and that's a really good place to actually try and put pressure on the point from a flank. But also I would like to see at least 2 squads trying to fight off the north side of artillery battery, because I think that's a very crucial place for map control to hold. And since we are having still a lot of time to play,
yeah, 15 minutes to go.
It up.
And we are seeing some forward elements of HLY are advancing on the south side. I'm going to zoom in on this for a second. Zoom a little too fast.
Squad leaders are still passive, though. You can see the guys, blueberries, pushing up, but squad leaders are staying put.
Oh, and Merkvist from HLY just cleans up LL, and he's going for the OP. He is so close. Darken Knight, only thing standing between LL and completely losing the southern flank. Props to Merkvist right there. He just dropped 3 guys alone in a trench. Oh, boy. Merkvist gets the OP, and he gets Darken. Merkvist, the hero for HLY on the south side, completely blows open the southern side of the map for HLY. That completely changes this game. That was wild.
This is a big play. This is a big play. But the squad leaders are still not moving. You can see it's only blueberries. As soon as LL actually recognizes that they need to push towards the point, which they're doing right now, and start killing these blueberries, they can regain control of the strong point again.
I mean, that was awesome. That was like really, really good. 4 kills there for Merkvist, the AT player.
And look what he's doing now, Merkvist. He's pushing, he's continuing to run, and that's the correct play to do.
He's just going to keep on running.
What I remember here is they don't seem to have capitalized on the fact they know there's a spawn wave coming from a garrison. And this is a key thing you have to take into account with this game mode.
And yeah, just whole squad spawned on the Gary.
You have a very good idea where they're coming from next. I like his play, but someone needs to fill that spot on the south.
I agree, and it does create the opening for HLY, and they are now recapturing the strong point, and like LL has completely lost their footing, and we're gonna see this flip again. I mean, there's no one from LL able to like really stop this capture progress unless some really strong rockets or grenades come in. But I mean, props to HLY. That one player from HLY just completely changed the game with one play, and that is sometimes all you need. And we're going to see a map flip here with 13 minutes to go. HLY is going to capture the strong point, and LL now is going to have to basically start from 0, run across this hedge. If I zoom back out, you can take a look at what they're doing here. They're having to run across this field in towards the center position that HLY has now resecured. What a match! This
They're making
great.
me angry. They're making me angry. They're not holding that southern hedgerow at all. Put one MG, put one guy, at least one guy watching that southern hedge. Right now, LL just got into position to retake the point again, just because there was nobody, as Watson actually highlighted
I think something to highlight here is Merkvist, whatever his name is. He's managed to get all the way to the north, and he's nearly ready to do the same thing again. If he can win.
Where's the outpost on the north side? Is it close?
I believe it's on Snow White's current position.
Yeah, I'll go zoom in.
somewhere around that area. I can't be exact.
Yeah, it's right behind. It's right. It's I'm not sure. There is no OP for LL up here currently. They're on this northern flank.
And
They've
that's
just
why he's
reset it.
hiding.
They've just reset it. Snow White just reset the OP on the very north
There we
side.
go.
So now it's back up.
Interesting to see if he makes the play again.
Yeah, let me go back to the position I was in. We can look at this. I like the north-south view on this strong point. So, but you're right. I mean, like HLY not securing that southern side of the map. I mean, now you're seeing LL just going back to the same positions that HLY just used to access the point. And yeah, like a little bit of just like short-term memory from both teams here on the south side. Like neither team realizing like, okay, you congratulations, you got the point, but now you got to secure it. And both teams were unable to secure. I mean, LL had it for a little while. They did a pretty good job, but not enough to prevent HLY. And now you're seeing a strong push from LL on the very top and the very bottom of the map, and there's pretty much no action in the center at all.
Merkfest is just continues to run. He hasn't died yet, has he?
I don't think he has.
Negative, he has not died.
So props to that guy for really kind of having the clutch moment for his team. We'll definitely go back and look at that if HLY wins this game. That is definitely the play of the game. I'm glad we got it on stream too.
It looks like HLY are noticing the attack from the south now.
Yeah, we see an automatic rifleman moving to the southern hedge line here.
Yeah, but it's too late already. You can see
sighted.
sighted.
Leader as well. Has he found an OP there, or?
By the glider, is there an outpost there?
PSL by the glider. Not sure if there's an OP too.
There are just for HLY, or sorry, for LL right now, you've got an OP in G3 numpad 8 and H4 numpad 2-5 right on the line.
Rest is close to 1, surrounded by 6, but we've seen him do it before.
Armageddon is closing in. I don't think it's right above him. He doesn't see it on the very north side of this map. Armageddon is closing in on this OP. He doesn't see it. Just Guy just spawns with an MG. I think he's going to get him. He certainly sees him. Armageddon trying to stay alive here. He's looking for the OP on the north side. This would be big for HLY if they can get it. He goes down. So Just Guy able to defend this OP on the very north side. I'm going to pivot back to the old position. And we're seeing a bit of a joust happening on the very southern trench, very southern hedge position. You are seeing, I'm going to zoom in on this for a second. You are seeing Merkfist and Skirby going up against Darkened and Zork here. Looks like, you know, maybe they heard you, Watson and Jim. They are now patrolling that southern ridgeline, southern hedge. And we're having a 2v3 about to pop off here.
Merkfest has nearly made the second play of the game.
And Skirby and Ben... Oh, and they clean up! HLY cleaning up on the gunfights on the southern side of this map. A 2v3 easily won by HLY. And they get the OP. They come in. Skirby dies, but the squad leader does not spawn. So that is now going to have to be a reset for that squad, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
That is now a hard reset. And, like, props to HLY. They're moving the fight away from the strong point. Like, there's a one squad leader from LL that is on the strong point, and that is really it. And that is Snow White going up against Die Charles. Snow White gets the kill inside of the trench there. So Snow White really the only player from LL that's really close. Zooming back out, there is a rifleman from LL that has gotten around. That is sighted. He's getting around, and I think... Is there a HLY outpost on the backside of the point here? I think he's getting close to it. Yeah, I see it. He's just marked it. So, sighted, just got sight of the HLY outpost and is now marked on the LL side. So they know where HLY is spawning from.
He's been prone all game right now. Like I think I've seen sighted just
crawling around
for like 8 minutes already.
He's just doing the dirty work, you know? Someone's got to do it. Be curious. So we'll keep an eye on that OP. We'll see if Sighted is able to get over there, but he's getting suppressed pretty hard by an MG.
Okay, HLY are doing a big mistake again. They're giving up the road. So
yep.
LL has a really easy approach to strong point again. And the south side, like, they're still not recognizing it. They're not holding it. Not sending people. Even though they pushed out the outposts, like, where are they now? Nobody's there.
As we're looking at Franklin, Fungus, and Sunny about to break through here. Franklin goes down, Krosnick gets him. Krosnick holding in this trench position. Fungus just on the other side of this hedge. So LL about, like, trying to break through the very north side of the road. Haven't quite been able to do it. Krosnick looks like he's safe. You got an MG from HLY inside of the manor. They look pretty secure there.
What is important to mention, that site that actually did not get that outpost, but he was really close to get it.
Okay. We're seeing strong presence from LL on the very north side. So you're kind of seeing, like, you know, it's funny. LL kind of has like an L formation right now. You kind of have a strong presence on that north side. It kind of bends around to the middle of the zone and then comes down to the south side. Whereas HLY is kind of in pretty much fortress mode. I think realizing they're getting tight on time, just 6 minutes to go. I think HLY is probably just going to go for the bunker strat here once they hit 5 minutes or so, which I think is a little early. As you said earlier today, Jim, I think you really want to do that at about the 3 minute mark, but they really don't have position to do much else. So I think maybe just piling in to the strong point is the play for HLY here.
Well, we saw it in the last game that we commentated against 103rd playing against DIB. They just held the strong point and it worked. It can work, but I think then they need to control this northern road right now, which they're trying to do now. And the outpost that LL has is really far away across the open field, so they can still do this mini box out, not through the whole capture sector, but at least in the key areas.
And I will say, you are seeing LL has really lost control of that northern flank in the last 30 seconds or so. You have two players from HLY that are running out towards the last remaining outpost for Lost Legion. I'm going to come over to this. Is he going to get this OP? Kadros is running opposite direction. He doesn't see the spawn. Oh no, Kadros goes right past the LL outpost. If he knocks that out, HLY in the driver's seat of this game.
And it's not calmed. Like, Kadros is not turning around.
He's not, and that would have been big.
Given the information, looks like they're from different squads or something.
They must have been. I don't know how else the communication doesn't take place there. If Kadros gets that outpost, because now look at that push now from LL on the north side. Imagine Kadros knocks out that outpost. I think HLY might have wrapped up the game right there, potentially. So that's a big mistake. HLY not seeing that OP, and now you're seeing 5 players from LL coming down on the northwestern side of this strong point. HLY now kind of going for that wide north-south line. You have a player that's moved up to the glider. Something tells me that is the player we've been following all game. No, it's not. That's Kadros. That's the player we just saw a minute ago. So is this our guy right here? Yeah, Merkvist here, still doing work, killing people on the southern trench line. LL trying to break in on the red road, leading to the point, and they are getting some kills, but I don't know if it's enough. HLY is kind of holding on for dear life here. 3 minutes and change to go. A couple players from LL getting close to the strong point, but how does the OP placement for HLY look? Is it good? It seems pretty good from the overhead view.
I would say it's decent. I would probably want Charlie's squad to move the outpost a little bit, but then they need to push out a little bit to the east themselves. But in general, they have one outpost inside the strong point, well, close to strong point, just hugging its wall, and then the second one is a little bit back. So I feel like they're safe enough.
Oh boy.
I think again you see the problem on the south. HLY don't really have eyes towards that direction, and there's a big wave coming in.
Yep, you have a full squad from LL pushing the southern side here. Oh
I
boy.
think it feels like they have not split the responsibilities properly. Like, the squad that has the outpost inside the strong point is not the squad that should sit in the building. I think that should be the squad spreading out alongside the trenches on the east side of the strong point.
I completely agree, but I can tell you right now that the comms on HLY side are collapse into the zone. You are seeing pretty much the entire HLY team right now just collapsing into the circle. I think realizing 2.5 minutes to go, they're just going to try to hold on for dear life. I feel like we might see overtime here. If there was going to be a game to go to overtime, it could be this one. LL is close. They've got decent volume. But HLY, man, they might hold on here. This is really, I mean, HLY found an opening on the south side from one of their players. They took advantage of that opening, as we were talking about in the pregame, and it totally changed the complexion of the match. And now they are in the driver's seat with 2 minutes to go. You are, no capture progress yet coming in. Enough players from HLY inside of the strong point. We're going to watch this bar very closely now in the final 2 minutes. It's chaos out there right now. LL throwing smoke all over the field, just trying to cross. This is absolute chaos on both teams right now.
I think HLY are definitely winning some gunfights, which is doing some favours in the final few minutes.
And their MG placements are also good, covering all the key areas, I think, in that main building.
I'm going to zoom in on
They have
this.
2 MGs in the same house, don't they? Either direction.
I'm going to zoom in on this final. This could be the final push from LL here on the very northern side of the circle. They have a decent numeric advantage if they can push it. They've got smoke. I'm going to go for a top-down view here. Hombra goes down inside the trench.
Lloydbacks from HLY is doing a really wide flank, and he's almost at the enemy outpost. I don't know if you'll notice it. I think that's a big mistake on Snow White's side, that his outpost is so far away right now, in such a crucial moment.
Just over a minute to go. HLY look to be just solidifying control. LL know that they have basically no time. They've got to just get to the circle. This MG, you've got 2 MGs from HLY up inside of the strong point. Although, as I say that, capture progress coming in the final minute. LL starting to get a little bit of capture progress here in the zone. Oh boy. Oh my goodness, this is really close. Oh my gosh, and LL all of a sudden in the final minute winning a bunch of gunfights just on the eastern side of this zone, or I should say to the right side of the zone on my screen here. And LL getting decent volume into the strong point, and it's starting to fall apart for HLY here in the final 30 seconds. Oh boy.
And you know what? You said that they're really coming everybody to the strong point, but the squad on the north side has not even moved up closer to the strong point. So essentially, they've not actually turtle up.
Oh my goodness. So we are officially in overtime. Overtime is now on. So the way this works is HLY has either got to completely defend the zone, like remove all capture progress, or LL has to capture the zone. The match will go on until one of those 2 things happen. And this is such chaos right now. Like both teams, like Quentin Tarantino killing each other inside of this building. It feels like Django Unchained. Like everyone's just dying inside the house on both teams. Smoke everywhere. You can't see anything. LL starting to get more capture progress. I mean, HLY is, the cons from HLY have got to be everybody to the zone, right? I mean, there's no other play. Like all of the fighting on the periphery does not matter at this point. Everything just needs to come to the zone. And I just don't see enough from HLY on the strong point. And did they lose an outpost? Did HLY lose an outpost? Is that why they're having to...
They did lose the one next to the strong point, yeah.
Oh
my
that
God.
could spell doom for them. That could maybe be game. LL just pretty much putting their entire team inside of the circle. I think HLY's got 30 seconds here. They've got 30 seconds, and I don't think it's gonna. You've got 6 guys from HLY having to run in. I think LL is gonna pull out an overtime win here at the very end of the game, and they are gonna pull out this match. Oh,
what a closing!
Wow.
What a closing! Like, would you expect that? Well, on one side, HLY defended really well, but they were not controlling the key areas, and that has that will haunt them now through this game, I think.
That's GG's to LL in this game. That was a phenomenal comeback at the very end. Overtime ends with LL the winners. HLY had some of the most critical plays of the game, and they capitalized well, but you're right. To your comment at the very start of the match, Watson, there was no coverage from HLY, at least consistently, on this southern hedgerow. There just wasn't enough. And if HLY could have just shut down the southern hedgerow, like they had an MG sitting in the back the whole time. If that MG had moved up, was covering some of these positions, I think HLY wins this game and we're heading to a third game or a third match. Really great from both teams. Really strong play. What did you guys think?
It was very entertaining. That's for sure. I think I really enjoyed watching HLY actually trying and doing the plays. Some players like Merkwest and Skirbay destroying a few outposts here and there. But I think the biggest mistake that HLY did is that they just As soon as they push out the enemy there, they don't capitalize on that. They don't take their spot. And I think they also gave the LL too much breathing space on the north side. The squad that was holding the north side was always holding the main buildings on the north, and that's about it. They would never really push through the north, only until when LL actually got inside the point and captured it. Only then their northern squad actually got in the north. But they left such a big gap there for LL to get back in that that cost them the strong point at that point.
I think this was definitely the closest match of the tournament thus far. And it was really competitive, and HLY was close, but to your point, like, just could not secure the right places at the right moments. They had moments of absolute brilliance. That a couple of players from HLY having some super clean kills in big moments, but just couldn't quite put it together at the very end, and it just kind of fell apart in the final 90 seconds. Watson, any final thoughts on this one before we clock out? Oh, I'm not hearing you, Watson.
Oh, it was me.
Oh.
I think. I'll just step in quickly. I think from LL side, they could have also sealed the bag in this game much earlier if they would have pushed up on the south side as well on these hedgerows as a squad, or send at least 3 or 4 guys on the south side of the strong point and actually secure a flank. Since we saw that HLY actually went for the strong point with both squads, or even more. 2.5 squads actually pushed the strong point at the start. So you can secure those flanks early and try to box them in the strong point.
Do you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Lovely stuff. I think at the end there, LL played the numbers game, and certainly that worked. Unfortunately for them, they managed to snatch it in the final minute. Some very good individual plays in that game, that's for sure.
Yeah, on both teams, a lot of good individual effort in this one, and this was great. So LL is now going to advance. They're going to play, I believe, BR1 tomorrow in losers round 2, and HLY sadly eliminated, but really played well here. HLY, definitely put it all out on the table. Like a very, very nice showing from them. And just, big props to HLY, first time competing in this format in a tournament. I think they brought it, and they did really well. So GG's to both teams. Thank you, Jem. Thank you, Watson, for joining us. It's been a pleasure. That is it for today. We will be back tomorrow with more 18v18 action in the Hell Let Loose Summer Invitational 2021. I will see you all then. Thanks a lot, everybody.